Hello, everybody. Scott Golden, Golden Opportunities Coaching here, and we return to audios. It's been a couple of days. The weekend was rough as things wouldn't upload, but hopefully everything is fixed now. There will be several uploads today, and so that hopefully that's helpful for you. In any event, we're going to talk about some of the lasting effects or potentially lasting effects of the coronavirus. We're going to talk about that today. If there's an audio that you would like to hear, please feel free to comment below. If there are things that I missed, comment below as well. But there are probably about 4 or 5 things that I really think, when it comes to emotional balance, that people are going to struggle with post the coronavirus epidemic of 2020. And so one of them is worry. Whether it be worry about reinfection, whether it be worry about another virus. I've heard a lot of that from clients lately. You know, what if this isn't the end? What if there's something stronger? What if it mutates? All sorts of things. Worry about the after effects and the financial effects and the emotional effects. A lot of people learned that they weren't as close with their significant other as they thought they were. Before the virus. A lot of people learned that their family or their children didn't entertain them or care about them as much as they wanted. And that was a problem for lots of folks. Some people learned that they didn't like being around their significant other or family, and they feel guilty about that. There's a lot of different things that people are feeling guilty about. So understanding that worries about the long-term effects, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, of the coronavirus is a thing, and it needs to be addressed. It's something that I think we're gonna see for several months, if not at least a year, before we get back to normal. And the whole concept that, we've opened businesses and we're back to normal. No, another worry that I'm hearing a lot of is it's safe to go out. Some states are lifting the issues from the pandemic, and if people are still scared to go out, I have clients that are afraid to go back to work. It doesn't feel safe to me, they say. And so certainly, just something to look at there. Another is the unending nature of this. In other words, there are people that are in states where things haven't been lifted, or in countries where things haven't been lifted, and they really wonder, how long can this go on? How long can I handle it? What happens to me mentally and emotionally? Am I going to snap? Am I going to be incapable of handling this? There's a lot of what ifs as the coronavirus enters. We're at like 2.5 months in most places now. What if we get to 3 and 4 months in some places? Are people ready to handle that? Are people ready to deal with it? Another thing that people are struggling with is physical symptoms. So people with anxiety disorders, panic disorders, major depressive disorders, they are having physical symptoms in their body from being quarantined. And that can be something as simple as an elevated blood pressure, an elevated heart rate, physical agitation. Some people with chronic pain are noticing their pain is worse because they're not getting around as much. Some people are noticing their appetite is majorly different. Either they're eating a lot or they're eating very little because their food source is scared, especially for individuals who were already food insufficient. This has been a very difficult time. Other people are noticing that they're, kind of like things don't taste as good, or the other way, like I'm craving a lot of sugar. I hear people saying I'm craving, meat, and I want to be carnivore, and I want to go crazy, or I want to eat as little as possible, and I want to eat like a rabbit. I'm hearing a lot of people, they're reducing their food intake, and they're reducing it down to very simplistic amounts because they don't know where food's going to come from. So everybody's is affected differently. I think physical symptoms, both health symptoms as well as dietary, are going to continue beyond this because it's been a shock for people. I mean, think about it. The last major pandemic we had was over 100 years ago. So a whole generation, several generations of people have come and gone without understanding this, seeing it, or knowing what to do with it. And then there's also the anger piece. People are angry at the losses that they've had, whether they be financial, whether they be vocational. A lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people lost hours from jobs. A lot of people have been downsized. And here's another thing too, and I'm watching this in myself, in my own business ventures. There are business owners, large, small, and medium, who realize how, and I'm going to be very blunt here, how useless some of their employees actually were. How they can get by with, maybe they had 10 employees and they only actually need 6. Maybe they had 100 employees and they only need 50. Like, this is brought to light efficiency and how inefficient many people operate, and kind of brought to light that there are people who don't work hard and skate by. I've got one client who has over 200 employees going into this, and his goal is to trim 50 people just because. It's like, I was wasting money on these people. I'd rather give raises to the people that are employed. So there's going to be anger when people don't have jobs to go back to. There's going to be anger when people return to work and they're held to a higher state of accountability, because any really respectable business owner is going to have used this time to go, who should I really appreciate, and who can go? Anger over the lack of support they had from family, friends, or partners. A big thing that I'm hearing a lot of that I think will last beyond this. In other words, a lot of refinement of like, hey, you were really useful, you were really helpful, you were not to be found. I've seen a lot of people talk about getting back in touch with people. Sometimes they haven't talked to them in months or years, and then it'll be interesting to see if those connectives continue past the pandemic. That's going to be something that has lasting effect. The desire to go and do things, the desire to be more engaged in daily life, I think that's going to be a major thing. It may not take full effect, but I think globally we're going to see people, once it's safe, once we've established in 6 months or so that it's safe, that, we go back out into large events, be they sporting events, be they concerts, be they church, whatever it is. I think we're going to see people, at least the ones who really took this pandemic to heart, enjoying their life more and being more on purpose and being more deliberate with the quality of life they lead and the quality of life they live, and how ultimately things kind of go in that direction. I think we're going to see people who are much more serious about the quality of life they're living and enjoying moments and having momentary weaknesses exposed. In other words, hey, maybe I was taking this for granted before, or maybe I wasn't doing enough over here. I think we're going to see a lot of that, and I think that is going to be good for society. It's going to be good for businesses that add value. It's going to be good for a lot of different things. Anyway, this has been today's one of the videos that's going up for today. If you have something you'd like us to discuss here on the channel, please feel free to comment below. We are doing our social reconnection special, $50 special. If you are new to coaching services and you have worked, or you've worked with me before in another venue but not in a one-on-one sense, please feel free to reach out either here on YouTube in the inbox or via Twitter at PO Perception. We usually get back to you within 24 hours. Until then, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.